Hey guys, I'm going to show you how I made the Requiem gun and hatchet axe from Resident Evil 9. So I first started with my template for my hatchet axe, and I used that template to trace on EVA foam. I used 10mm foam for the base, and then 5mm foam for the outer layer, the side layers for the axe. And then I created an incision in between both base layers, and I added a wood stick in the middle of both base layers to give it stability so it doesn't bend. And then I glued both base pieces together, and then I drew the incisions for the axe here, as you can see, and I used my sanding tool gun to create the grooves of the incisions that I drew on. I did the same process with the side pieces with my sanding gun. And here I'm just cutting out some more pieces to create the look of the handles that will be placed on the side. And I'm sanding down the base layer of the axe to kind of make it smoother. And I start the process of painting each piece. I use silver spray paint and I use plastic dip for the base. And ta-da, as you can see, this is what it's starting to look like before I start painting each piece. So I use black paint to paint these side layers, the appropriate color. And I use metal gray acrylic paint to paint the axe a darker silver color. And I use black and brown paint to weather the axe a little bit, to kind of give it a little bit more depth and to give it more of a look that it's been used. I'm using my sock here to kind of weather in the black and brown to kind of give it a little bit more used look, like from the game. Using a sock always works best to weather in certain contour and looks that you want your weapon to look like. Weapon is almost done. You gotta add one more finished piece to it, and which are the screws that go in on the holes here that I took from one of my supply boxes. And voila, the hatchet axe is finished. I'm happy how it turned out. It's lightweight, it's durable, and it's strong. For the Requiem gun, I got it 3D printed from a third-party source. I began to paint each piece its appropriate color. I paint most pieces silver and then the handle black. And once I finished that process, I began to glue the pieces together appropriately. I did not want the Requiem gun to be just a flat silver color, so I used my acrylic